Here's 11 mistakes you can stop making at the blackjack table to ensure you make more money in the long run. Number 1. Taking insurance. Mathematically speaking, insurance is a losing bet. The odds of a dealer having a blackjack when they show an ace is 2.25 to 1. The casino only pays you odds of 2 to 1. That's a house edge of 6% on this insurance bet, and that's really high when you consider the house edge on a good blackjack table is less than 0.5%. You may have a hunch or consider taking insurance when you have a score of 20, but just know that in the long run you are losing money that could be avoided by simply refusing to take insurance. The only exception to this rule is if you are card counting, and your count indicates the dealer has a high probability of having blackjack. Number 2. Playing at a blackjack table that pays 6 to 5 on blackjacks. Some new players unfamiliar with gambling odds might be attracted to a 6 to 5 table over a 3 to 2 table because the number 6 is bigger than the number 3. Don't make that mistake. The casino is shortchanging you at these tables, and I'd go as far as saying it's daylight robbery. To emphasise my point, consider these payout differences. With a $100 bet on a 6 to 5 blackjack, you would receive a payout of $120. If you were to have the same $100 bet playing at a traditional 3 to 2 table, that payout would be $150. By paying 6 to 5 odds, the casino increases its house edge by an additional 1.3%. That's essentially tripling its house edge with this one rule change. Fortunately, this is one of the simplest mistakes to fix. Just stop playing at a table that pays 6 to 5. There are plenty of casinos that pay 3 to 2 for blackjack. If you're looking for a good casino with good blackjack rules that are beneficial for the player, then make sure you complete the quiz on the website using the link in the description, and I'll recommend the best casino for you depending on where in the world you live. The third mistake is not hitting a soft 18 with a dealer's card of 9, 10 or ace. You are favourite to lose this hand if you stand or hit, but the mathematicians have crunched the numbers and you will lose less often if you hit your soft 18 against the dealer's 9, 10 or ace. By not hitting your soft 18 against these cards, you are giving up an 8.3% edge. Number 4. This is again regarding a score of soft 18, but this time the mistake is not doubling when the dealer has a 6. In this situation, you are favourite to win, and if you're going to become a winning blackjack player, you need to make the most of these opportunities. Try cutting this mistake out of your game and double your soft 18 against a 6. Over the long run, you'll be pleasantly surprised at the difference it makes to your bankroll. Number 5. Not hitting a 16 against the dealer's high card. Too many players make the mistake of standing on their 16 against a dealer's card of 7 or higher. Yes, it's true that you will go bust more often than not, but not taking another card and simply praying the dealer goes bust is an even worse strategy in this scenario. Looking at the dealer's bust rate chart, the probability of the dealer going bust with these high cards is around 30%, meaning you're going to lose over 70% of the time. Number 6. The cardinal sin of any blackjack player, and that's splitting a pair of 10s. You've got a fantastic score of 20 and you want to split it up into 2 hands. You are asking for trouble, and quite frankly, you deserve to lose both hands for getting greedy. The only time splitting 10s could potentially be a wise move is if you're playing in a blackjack tournament, but that's a separate video entirely. Number 7. Staying with examples of bad splits, this mistake is splitting 5s. Now often, when you receive a pair of 5s, you should be reaching for your chips to get more money on the table, but it's not to split your pair of 5s up, it's to double down instead. With a pair of 5s, you have a score of 10, which has a lot of potential. Unless the dealer has a 10 or an ace, you should be doubling this hand and certainly not splitting it up. Number 8. Standing on a 12 against a dealer's 2. Experienced blackjack players will tell you that a dealer's 2 is a dangerous card. The probability of them going bust is just 35%, meaning that 65% of the time they'll make a made hand. If you stand on your score of 12, that means you'll lose 65% of the time. With a score of 12, your probability of going bust is only 30%, so you should be trying to improve this hand so that you don't need to rely on the dealer going bust in order to win. Number 9. Not splitting 8s. They say you should always split your 8s. But most people ignore the mathematical advice when it comes to splitting 8s against a 9, 10 or an ace, and I can completely understand why many people feel uncomfortable creating 2 hands against a strong dealer card. The fact of the matter is, no matter what decision you make against these 3 cards, you are favourite to lose money. However, according to the mathematicians, splitting 8 instead of playing your score of 16 will result in losing less money. Splitting 8 against all of the cards will result in extra profits. Mistake number 10. Not doubling 11 against the dealer's 10. There's a saying in the gambling world, and it goes, "Scared money never wins." And doubling down when the dealer has a 10 is a scary risk to take. But if you came to the blackjack table to win money, then doubling your 11 against the dealer's 10 is a move you need to start taking. Of course, you won't win every single time, but you're a slight favourite to win this hand, and therefore you need to capitalise on this situation by getting more money on the table. Making the most of these opportunities is what separates the winners from the losers. Number 11 is not splitting 9s against the dealer's 8 and 9. The majority of players would be happy with a score of 18. But if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll know that the average winning score of a blackjack hand is 18.5. Therefore, your pair of 9s totaling the score of 18 will not be good enough more often than not. If you were dealt a score of 18 every single hand, over the long run, you just wouldn't be a winning player. So with this setup, we have the opportunity to get away from a score of 18 with a good probability of making 2 good hands. Especially when the dealer has an 8 or 9, it's likely they are going to make a made hand, and a score of 18 only beats a dealer's score of 17. The reason we don't split against the dealer's 10s or aces is because we're likely to lose both. Make sure to avoid these blackjack mistakes the next time you play, and don't forget the simplest and quickest way to win more money at the blackjack table is to play at one with favourable rules. Make sure you complete the quiz in the description and I'll recommend the best casino to play at. If you want more insider tips on blackjack, check out this video next. And don't forget to share this video with a friend.